So I've been using the power of the coyote wall. I've been told by my body to wait to use that power till I've more deeply embodied it. And I think I'm going to do that, but I do want to do a brief video on the 5 elements of the therapeutic coaching relationship. One, we start with the wood. This is the plan, the vision. This is where we're collecting data. This is where you do your online intake, and we get to know a little bit more about you. And we kind of set up a plan, and we're like, okay, this is our main focus. These are kind of all the pieces on the table. Here are the kind of the blockages. Here are the supports. Here's what we're going to do for this amount of time, and here's what we're expecting to see happen. And if it doesn't happen, then we're going to change direction and try a new approach. But hopefully, with enough research and depth, we figure it out. Now things start to heat up. We're okay. We got the wood. We're moving into fire. This is really where we start to we build a rhythm, and we really start to I always trust you. And that's what I'm here. But you kind of start to trust in the process a little bit more. Kind of start to open up to the guidance that's offered. And also discerning, what is this process doing for me? Is it doing anything? Is it good, bad? You don't really know until, a month in. And then even then you don't really know until 3 months in. And even then you don't really know, even after the process is over, you don't really know until you've taken the time to think about it and look back on it. But you can expect, each session, these increases in the quality of experience. And just starting to notice, the presence of a certain person in your life, and how that's, especially if you're really investing in a therapeutic encounter, you start to notice you're creating accountability. So it's like, okay, I know this is my best self, and am I in alignment with that? Am I not? It's like you get a little bit more juice, per se. You don't, the ideal is you don't need the therapeutic relationship. You don't want to have to rely on it. You do you, but we all know we get off track. Or maybe some of us don't. We're so in the habit that we just don't. But a lot of us, we get off track. We need something to keep us honest with ourselves, so we're not like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, and nothing gets done. Fire is like, okay, it's this way, that way, and you're starting to commit to a process. And there's a faithfulness, there's an opening up to the guidance that a therapeutic container creates. Really is like a third party is coming in, and they're starting to support you, but you get to decide how much support, and it's an opening up process. And then after that, things start to get more solid. You're in the earth phase. It's like, okay, it's work is clear. I kind of have a sense of this thing. I'm committed. And let's just, this is good. I'm just going to keep on going and going, putting the work consistently. And the metal is refining, we're refining, okay, now we're fine tuning. It's like we got the rhythm, we have momentum, we're just kind of adding the sweet details, like all the changes are really, maybe that's the 3-month mark. It's like, okay, I just got to keep on going for a year, and maybe you need less treatment at that time, or whatever we want to call this, personal support, coaching, and it's like, okay, we're in the rhythm now, and we just need these little reminders, and we keep on going until it's really solid. It's like, okay, now this is me. I don't have to change so much. I don't have to think about it. I just have to put a little bit of effort, and things get going. And now we're in that process of mastery, and that's really the water phase, where we come back to ourselves. We really become and embodied our goal, so that's where we're at. That's kind of the 5 elements in the kind of in this therapeutic process. How we take one kind of thing we're trying to embody, and we go through the whole cycle. And then at the end, you might, maybe at the 3-month mark, if you're really invested, you're like, well, I really want to work on this other thing, but let's keep this other thing going. Then you keep going with that. And then you take something on new, or you just, you're happy with the one thing because it really is enough to support you in these amazing ways. And then either you're done, you're happy with your work, or you're like, oh, there's this other thing coming up now, and I really want to tackle that. Or it could be a few years later, you come back and you're like, oh, this one thing is really, it's just gotten a little bit stuck. Or there's a big change and you just need an adjustment. Or it's just the change of seasons, or you just want to come see me because you're like, oh, that was a good time. I just want to remember. All of that's possible. But yeah, that's the 5 elements of the therapeutic alliance or relationship.